Alright, hello everybody. As you can see, we have a new setup. Thank you to Chris, who donated this awesome new mount so that we could have an easier time watching what I do. These are the examples from last week where we did Beach Buddies, and if you'd like to see that, it is available currently on our Facebook page. However, that will be moving to our YouTube channel, which the link is on our TX Rockers page. If you are interested in joining and subscribing there, please remember to like and follow our Facebook page, as this will allow you to see all future events and any live feeds that we have. As always, I have donation links in the description to allow me to continue to do this class without having to charge for it. I would like to take a moment and thank all our sponsors. Obviously Chris for this awesome mount. We have Marisol, Bobby, Elizabeth, Marilyn, and my mom. So, we're going to get rid of last week's. And we're going to do birds this week. So it's going to be fun. Let me put those away. Safe. Hello, everybody. Glad you can make it. Okay, so first we are going to start with a very, very simple rock. I hope you've all washed your rocks. And I'm going to take a couple colors, Magnese Blue and Zinc White. As you see, I finally got them all in their little containers. And this has been there for 2 weeks. It's still perfectly wet. I'm really loving these containers. Again, these are the Double Take Creative Mark Artist paint pods. I got them at Jerry's Artorama, which I have posted about before. They have a great online presence, so if you would like to order some, go right ahead. I really wish they would, support me, so that I could get a discount. Okay, so we're just going to take some color. I'm going to make a custom color today. And then with another brush, I'm going to take a little bit of the blue. I'm going to mix it right in. Isn't that a pretty color? Mixing paint is always one of my favorite pastimes. It's so pretty. Alright. Needs a little bit more white. Anytime you add a dark color to a white, you want to make sure that you only add a little bit of the color, because if you're trying to go for a light color, you're going to need a lot of white. And you don't want to make too much of that color, because then you feel obligated to use it all, especially when it costs money for these colors, like if you're buying the higher end paints. So it makes it a little easier. As always, I encourage questions and comments. I can see you. I have my computer over here so that I can watch. And let me know if I get too loud, because I have no idea. I'm hoping I'm not. This first week of using this new mount, so I hope it works out, because I really like it. Trying to get it to attach to my phone was fun, though. So I'm hoping you don't fall, because I hope I did it right. Alright, so we're just going to do quick and easy base coat. And look how, thorough that coloration is. Why does it feel like this isn't playing? I'm playing for y'all, right? You're not just sitting here. Maybe if I refresh my page. There we go. There we go. That's better. It froze for me for some reason. That was weird. Cool. I'm glad y'all can see me. Okay, so we're going to probably do a second coat of this just so that see these streaks? I don't know if you can really see the streaks. There's streaks in it, and I don't want the streaks. So we're going to set that aside. I'm getting paint all over myself. It's fine though. And I'm going to go ahead and do a white background with the zinc white. Oh, where's my manganese blue? I can pick it up. Alright, I'm going to do a white background on a different rock, which you're welcome to do on a roundish rock if you have one. It will eventually be an owl. You can also use brown if you want. You can make a brown owl. You could use purple. I mean, there are no rules. It can be whatever color you actually want. I'm going to make a barn owl, though, because I really think barn owls are so pretty. They're so interesting to me. I'm going to make probably 2 different types if we can get to the second one. If not, I might do a second part of this like I've done with pretty much all the other classes. Alright, so now we're just going to let that sit. Whoop. And I'm going to take this one back. Is this dry? It's pretty much dry. It's got a little tackiness, but it should be okay. Once again, if you've wet your brush, make sure to dry it on a paper towel. You don't want it to be wet when you put it in your paint, because you don't want it to add water to your paint. I'm hoping I don't go out of the bounds of where the camera is. I actually have like little marks to try and remind myself. I might end up putting bigger marks on here, just to sort of make it so that I can see them better. I'm very forgetful, and I get so wrapped up with doing this. Okay, so see? Nice, even coat. Very easy. Is that one good? Ooh, that one's so very wet, and I just messed it up. There we go. Okay. So now, go ahead and do another white white rock. Base coating, I swear, just takes so much time. It's not as bad as when I have to mark all the rest of them on the back. I am located in Texas, Houston, Texas, to be exact. And that's why it's TX Rockers, because it's Texas. There are all sorts of groups all over the world, actually, who do this. And you can probably find a local rock painting group very easily. You can always check out the Kindness Rocks Project, and they have a list of certified groups. I am one of those, but not every rock painting group is. I actually made a friend with someone in Floyd, Virginia, when I went there for a family reunion, and we did a rock exchange. It was really cool. She painted 10 rocks, and I painted 10 rocks, and we exchanged them, so she could hide them there, and I could hide them here. It was really, really fun. You meet all sorts of people doing this. And that one's mostly dry. Enough for a second coat? Hopefully. I never know. This is all guesswork, guys. Alright, there we go. Okay, there's the white one. And I'm going to use that same blue, this blue that I made. And I'm going to do another rock in that color, because I have extra, and like I said, I don't like wasting paint. So we're just gonna do this really quickly. Doo-doo-doo. And remember what I said about super porous rocks. You want to be careful if you're going to use like a pen or something on them, because all these little holes will catch your pen and splatter paint everywhere. So if you're going to use super porous rocks or super hold rocks, I suggest getting some spackling, which you can get usually at like Home Depot or Lowe's or local hardware store, and fill in and just push it in and wipe it off, let it dry, and then sandpaper it down, and it will make it a really, really easy to use surface. Okay, so this is going to be our first rock. Let me dry off my brush. I'm going to take a fine tip brush. This is a 10/0, not to be confused with a 20/0, which is quite smaller. Both these brushes you can get at either like Hobby Lobby or Jerry's Artorama or any art store really, but they're very useful. Alright, so I'm going to take Mars Black, and I'm just going to dip very lightly. I really need to replace this brush. And I'm just going to make little circles. For those who are just joining us for the first time or have not seen many of my classes, I like to go from simple to difficult with every rock. So this is going to be our simple rock, and it's just going to be a simple little bluebird. Maybe I'll give her eyelashes. You know. Why not? Like I said, there's no rules with your rocks. Put it how you want. And then I'm going to take my primary yellow after I wash my brush. And with these thin ones, you want to make sure that you're like careful with the tips, because I don't know if you can see how much this one needs a haircut. It's got split ends everywhere. Sort of like all my quarantine hair. And then we're just going to make a little beak. And these are really good for like spring and Easter gifts and things like that. They're just cute little things. Ta-da! And that is a rock. It's very easy. I'm going to wipe off my brush again. Alright, so the next one is actually not going to be this big one yet. We're going to do this one. So this one, oh no, don't tell me I don't have, oh, I have my pencil. Okay. I'm going to take my pencil, because sometimes I like to sketch out things. I'm going to go ahead and make a heart on here. See the heart? So what we're going to end up making it look like is this. So we're going to want some black, because, you know, gonna need it. I'm also going to kind of add a little bit more white in the face, because I want to make sure it's really on there. Okay. So I need my Mars Black again. And for this one, you may want to use two brushes. You can take a single brush and do the main body parts, which are mostly going to be white, or black rather, sorry. I'm not awake. And I have a cat pawing for my attention. And if you aren't sure of yourself, don't get too close to the heart that you've outlined. You can go back with a smaller brush and go in and fill in these little pieces right here. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've been doing art for even longer. So I'm a little less... I keep trying to pull it out of the view. And remember, if you mess up, you can always fix it. So don't be afraid to make it a little messy or whatever. See, it doesn't have to be perfect. My stuff is never perfect, but that's what I like about it. Alright, so there we go. Make sure to cover up all those white pieces on the bottom. Oh, I need that. Wipe off our brushes. Okay, and then I'm going to take my size 0 brush, and I'm going to add some eyes, which are just going to be little ovals. Just like that. They don't have to be perfectly even. Just make them sisters, not twins. Alright, and then wipe off that brush because we're going to use it for the beak. You can use any small detail brush. I'll show you what the 20 or 0 can do. Super, super thin brush. You can make this as big as you want, as small as you want. If you want to make it the entire bottom half, you go ahead. Nothing says you can't. And with this one, I'm really going to be careful about wiping it off because of how, I mean, look how tiny that is. This one, as you can see, is already sealed. It was sealed with the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2x Ultra Cover clear coat, which I really love. It does a great job. And this is in semi-gloss, but it's really nice. I really like the way that coats. Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of white with our super, super tiny brush. And I don't put much paint on my brush, just so you know. And we're just going to do 2 dots wherever you want in the eyes. The back says Happy Mother's Day, your little penguin, because that was what my mom used to call me. And it was for her for this last Mother's Day. If you want, you can also do some reflection spots. And then I'm going to take the black and I'm going to outline the beak, which, having shaky hands, is not great when you want to do an outline. I think I need to eat. There we go. Ta-da! There we go. They're like siblings. Okay, so that one's up here. Next, we have this guy. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so you can choose whichever side you want as your top. Big, small, whichever. I'm going to rinse out this brush because I'm going to use a different brush. I'm going to use a round brush. And I'm going to get some white paint. And you can sketch this out. Actually, let me sketch this out so that you can kind of see what I'm going to do. We're going to make these kind of really big eyes. They're going to look like that. And then we're going to do a beak like this. So it kind of looks like that. Does that make sense? Okay, so now we're going to fill in. I'm hoping I'm not rocking the table too much because I know I just touched it. Don't want to make anybody sick watching it. I'm just using a pencil. Just a simple pencil. Or do you mean the outline like on this? Gotta love the computer lag, right? On this one, I just used a 20/0 brush with some Mars Black paint. And that's how I did that. You can also use pens. I tend to use the Lotus Art Supply artist paint markers. I really love these. I stand by them. They're really wonderful. That's what they look like. And they do really great little things. But that's what I use. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff out there that you can use. I just figured I'd show y'all with the brush because I tend to use the paint pens a little bit more and I lean a little heavily on them. And I just want you to be able to see kind of what I do when I don't have them with me. Alright. So when you've gotten your eyes how you want them, go ahead and rinse off your brush and dry it. Uh-oh, where did I put the thing? There's the thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and use another brush with my yellow. You can also use like orange. You can use whatever color. Here I used a light orange. I have one that's called Flesh Caucasian. I don't know. And that's the color. I've also been known to use that for beaks. Just makes a really good beak color, yes. But I'm going to just use yellow because it's already out. And it's a little less for me to do. So you're going to probably want at least 2 coats of the yellow because when you're doing it on a blue, it's going to turn green. Notice how it's green. You could have also used the white, fill it in, and that way it would give it a back color to work off of. But I didn't think that far ahead, so we're just going to do that. And hope for the best. Alright, and now I'm going to use my 20-0 again. And we're going to make little circles. Well, ovals, I guess, actually. And this is where having like a pen or something would come in handy, probably. I will say that if you're going to use Sharpie, make sure your Sharpie works with your sealant before you seal it. Because I have ruined many a rock, not realizing the stuff in my sealant was going to ruin my Sharpie. And it makes it run really bad. So just be aware, there are sealants that will make it run. The one that did that for me was the Krylon spray. It did not work very well with Sharpies. I always suggest sealing your rocks when they're done. One, they make them look prettier, but also they help save your art for a little longer. I'm trying to see if I have any sealed other than the penguin. I don't think I have any in the room with me. Man, I'm underprepared. This is what happens when you have a birthday. You forget everything about what you're supposed to bring to your weekly class. But yeah, there's certain ones that just react differently. That's why I suggest the paint markers instead of Sharpie. It just, to me, works a little better. But if you have Sharpie, use Sharpie. I mean, it's whatever. I also try and remind people that when you put these out, if you're going to put them out, because that's the goal for me in the Kind Knits Rocks project. Oh, thank you. Is that you don't put them directly on like ground or grass or near flowers, because when it rains, sometimes the sealant will leak off a little bit, and it won't be much, but sometimes that's enough to upset the balance of the pH level of the soil, and it can kill flowers, and we just don't want that in like the water supply particularly. So I tend to put it on rocks, or I'll put it on concrete, stuff like that. I try not to put it anywhere too destructive, unless I've already let it sit out for a few days, like in my driveway, and getting rained on, so that it has already leaked all of the sealant it's going to leak. But that's why on the back of some of my rocks, you'll see they take, leave, or re-hide, and then post on social media with the hashtag TXRockers. And if you'd like to join our group, Shush Cat, if you'd like to join the TX Rockers painting group, it's on Facebook. It is TX Rockers Painters. And those are the people who go out and they hide the rocks and take pictures and then post it online, so that way when someone finds it, they can click found or say found, so we can watch kind of where they go. You'll be surprised how far some of these rocks travel. I think my favorite story, though, was this one time I had done a rock, one of my first rocks actually, and I was on vacation when I started all this, and I left my rock at the Anne Frank tree in Little Rock, Arkansas. Apparently there are 11 of them altogether in the United States, which I think is really cool. And they're from the actual tree that grew outside of Anne Frank's bedroom before she was taken. And I left this little rabbit rock, and someone found it who was from Houston and brought it back to Houston and hid it at the Museum of Natural Science. And I had to laugh because, of course, I was already coming home, and it followed me home. So it's really fun to watch where they go. I've seen rocks pretty much everywhere I go. I find rocks. It's really cool. Anytime I travel, I'm always surprised when I find them, and it's a really nice little thing. And so I'll bring them with me, and I'll take them and I'll leave them somewhere else. Or I'll take them home if they speak to me, because you never know who needs that little bit of positivity. And that's what the goal of the Kindness Rocks project is to spread positivity in a world that's riddled with so much hate. Alright, so what I've done, I outlined the eyes. I'm going to outline the beak once that's dry. I'm probably going to add another coat because it's still kind of green. I don't know if you can tell that it's still green. I hope this doesn't make it like out of focus too much. I haven't actually looked. So I'll add more, and then we'll outline it and add the beak line. So before that, let's see, how hard do let's go with the hard one. Okay, move that off. Move these guys, I guess, up here because they're the finished ones. These are in the progress. Okay, so this one, definitely going to want to do this, but I would suggest doing a base coat. So we're going to go ahead and do a base coat of white, just so that this dark rock doesn't make the colors muddle too much. Sort of like putting eye primer before you put on eyeshadow. It just lightens the eye just enough to make it so that all the colors pop. You don't need to focus so much on the sides because they're going to end up being a dark color, so it doesn't really matter. But mostly in the middle, make sure that that's a good color or a good coverage of white. And if you want, we can, I don't know if we'll end up getting to it, but we can go ahead and do a base coat on another rock. Like I said, never know if I'm going to get to all the rocks I do. I've had some good luck in the last ones, but I did miss a week, so I'm out of practice. Let me choose a color I like. I'm going to choose, yes. Yeah, I'm going to choose that. This is cadmium blue-green light, and you want to be careful with cadmium colors because their water that you use should not be poured down the drain because cadmium is a poison. You won't need special gloves or anything like that when dealing with them, but they are a dangerous toxin. And while they're doing the process of the acrylic creation, it actually changes the chemical bonds to make it a little safer. But when introduced with like the water system, some of those things can mess that up, and all the treatments that they do to water. So you want to just make sure you're keeping things safe for everyone. Don't need to have a reason for, people getting poisoned or something. Alright, so we're just going to let that dry. While we come back to this guy, I'm going to rinse off my brush. Put that over there. Okay, we're going to go back with our little round brush. Whoop! Gosh, I love this paint. It doesn't automatically go everywhere. We're just going to do yet another cover. So that should be good coverage now. I'm sorry, I'm making it really low. I'm so sorry. Just now seeing that. That was quite low. I will try not to do it quite so down. Alright, so we're going to take our black. Just going to go across as close as you can. See here, I kind of went over. I'm going to re-outline there. And you don't want much on your brush, and I'm not pushing very hard. I'm just barely trailing the tip on my rock. So there we go. See? And then we'll wait a minute to do the middle thing because it's still wet, I'm pretty sure. Although the Soho paints do dry very quickly, which is really nice. It's one of the reasons I like using them. So, we'll see. Oop. Oh, no, apparently not that nice. Oh, great. Do-do-do. It's fine, there's gonna be a bird there anyway, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so for the next rock. Yeah, that's dry. Okay. So for this one, we're going to take our pencil and we're going to make another heart. There's a lot of hearts and birds, I'm noticing. Alright, so I'm just going to make kind of a semblance of a heart. Doesn't have to be a perfect heart. Just the idea of a heart. Like that. Alright, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of make a little line in. I hope you can see this. And then we're going to come here, and we're going to go down, like this. And that's going to be our bird. So it'll end up looking like that. Notice this is another rock I did for Mother's Day. You can make this a flamingo, you can make this a white swan, a black swan, you can make it pretty much any long-necked bird. I just like the flamingo because I think it's cute. So, I'm going to do a flamingo. Alright, where's my magenta? We're going to make another custom color because that is a little bright. Or a little dark, rather. Not bright enough, rather. I'm going to use this for the white. Again, make sure you are adding considerably less of your color to your white. Hoping my hand isn't blocking too bad. And you can always use the end of your brush too to get paint. There we go. That's closer. Hoping I'm not shaking the table too much. I'm just realizing. Again, not used to the new mount yet. I'll get there. I promise, guys. I'll get there. And you want to try and get off as much of the paint on the edge so that it's not everywhere. And we're just gonna color in all right here. Yes, it was my birthday last week. Well, this week, but yes, last week. I was celebrating it last weekend. Which is difficult during the coronavirus shutdown, I will say. But I'm happy to have friends that have a pond who let me come float. We were all 6 feet apart. It was very coronavirus friendly. Alright, so I'm going to put my magenta up. And I'm going to pull a different color. What color do I want? I'm going to do a really weird one. I'm going to do gray. Oh wait, that's burnt umber. That's not my gray. There's my gray. That would have been a much different color combination. Alright, so I'm going to take my gray. I'm going to color it in around my outline. You can do this first, you can do this last, whichever. Hey, happy birthday. That's really cool. That's the day after mine. When you're doing this, make sure you're just sort of letting your brush turn as you do. Otherwise, you'll get like a fat line. And if you don't want that, that would be a problem. Okay. And if you want, you can outline the whole thing in the same color you used for your heart, or you can do it in black. It's up to you. I'm going to do it in black because I'm doing the rest of the thing in black, and I think it'll pop more if I do it that way. Okay. Put that color back. Now move on to black. And for this part, you can kind of just go a little crazy when you're not near the artwork in the middle. Sometimes I'll use a bigger brush. Like I said earlier, sometimes I'll use just one brush like I'm going to do now, mostly because I already have so many brushes in my water bucket that I don't want to overflow it. Here, you can either use a pen or you can use a brush like I'm using. Make sure if you're going to use a big brush that you start a little further away, because remember your brush is going to expand as you put pressure on it. And just that way it keeps it a little bit safer. And a little bit less likely to mess up your art. And right here, I'm going to put just a little dimple between the nose and the face, because that's how flamingos' faces are. So there's our base of this. Now to rinse off my brush again, and then we're going to switch to a smaller brush. And I'm going to use my little itty bitty 20 or 0. I'm going to give it some lashes because I think that's cute. Oh, I'm using 2 different types of water cups. I'm using this, which is an Easy Matte cup. And then I'm using this, which I got from Target, and it's just a, like, little thing. I don't know if it's supposed to have water in it, but I use it for a water cup. It seems to work. You can use pretty much anything as a water cup. You could actually use, you know, cups, gasp. I messed up. Don't know if you saw. With the tinier brushes, you want to make sure you go in and get more of these, of the paint, because that way you're not overloading it with the paint. It's better to go back and get multiple strips than it is to only try and do it all at once. My stepmom's a flamingo girl. That's who I made this one for. I love flamingos. I think they're super cute. And if you want, you can add a little bit more of a movement on the side, just to kind of give it that kind of curve look. And there you go. And you can write people's names on it. You can write whatever. You don't have to write a name. This one I used a metallic paint right here because my stepmom really likes metallic paints. But you can use literally any color. Like I said, you can also do a white swan, a black swan, any long-necked bird, essentially. Do you know there's like over, what was it, I think 100,000 species of birds? No, 10,000. 10,000 different species of birds worldwide. And guess what the most common bird is? It's shocking. The most common species of bird is the chicken. I know. It's shocking. Like I said. Okay, so we're going to finish this guy real fast. 6:19. I bet I can finish at least one more rock. And we're just going to make a little line for the beak. And that's done. That's, I think that's still in the camera. Yeah, that's still in the camera. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Not the bird I would have expected. I would have thought like maybe like mockingbird or pigeon or something. But nope. Chicken. The chicken is the most common bird in the world. I think that's just crazy. Okay, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and outline. Yeah, I think that's enough paint. Might have done another coat, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to make a little bit of a circle, and then quite a bigger. I know you can't really see what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry. I will give. This is what it's going to be. If that helps. I follow someone on Instagram that's really good at doing the owls like this. That's Yogi's Owl, I believe, is the name of their Instagram page. They're really good. I really like their content. We are on Instagram if you want to go follow our TX Rockers page there, as well as on Twitter, but I very rarely use Twitter because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to Twitter. I just wasn't the Twitter generation, I guess. Alright, and then we're going to take a mark from here. We're going to do little look, little up, and little up. Like that. And then make a couple of feathers here. Okay. I don't know if you can see any of that. Let me go ahead, I guess, and outline it in pen. That way you can see it better. I know I pulled it down again. I've got to stop doing that. Okay. With pens, you always want to make sure to dab on a separate area because sometimes the like the paint will kind of pool at the tip, and then it'll give you like a huge glob. I've had that happen so many times. I've had to fix so many mistakes that way, and it just gets annoying. So I'm just doing this real fast so you can kind of see what I went and did. I will go back over this in paint so you'll be able to see what I did that way. 6:23, I gotta hurry. Okay. Maybe I won't go back over it in paint. We shall see. Again, don't be afraid to mess up. This is your bird, no one else's. Okay. So then I'm going to come in and I'm going to make a line here. Going to make a line here. And then we're just going to keep going like this. Not as far along in this rock as I wanted to be by now. Really hoping this pen's not going out. Already had that happen to another pen of mine. I'd be very sad. Okay. So we're just gonna make little circles for eyes. Okay. Then I'm gonna go and grab my neutral gray. Hopefully I have time for all this. And my super thin brush again. Actually, not my super thin. My 10/0. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna add gray. See, I mess up all the time. It's okay, we'll just fix that in post. With some white, which I'll do really fast right now, just to show you. When you're fixing, make sure to dab, don't rub. That way you don't pick up the paint. See? There we go. Sorry for going so fast on this one, I'm running out of time. Pretty much anywhere you have a black line, also put a gray line, except for the eyes. And then come in with the yellow, beak. Ow. Yeah, paint markers really help speed things along. I will say that. Being able also to just go back and go bloop, 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 bloop really helps. Almost out of time. Okay, so there we are. Ta-da! They're very simple. They just look hard. But it's just using a lot of the technique. See? If I'd used paint marker here, it would have been a little thinner on this one. Oh, and I just got paint all over that one. Go me. A little bit of water, took it right off. You can always fix them. Alright, so that's all. Remember to donate, and if you are feeling generous at least, and I will see y'all next week, same place, same time, and we will be doing flowers. Bye everybody!